Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for the Human Torch from Fantastic Four. I'm going to show you how to do this two ways, and I'll be putting both in the thumbnail. The first version is going to be the Human Torch in his navy outfit, and the second version is going to be orange flames down from here. So either which way, you're going to need a little bit of black, some navy, gray for the insignia, skin tone, dark brown or black for the hair, and blue bands or beads for the eyes. You're going to need your hook, a couple of C-clips, and the loom. And what I'll do is I'll show you some of the parts separately go according to the different colors, and some of it I'm just going to do in orange, but I'll tell you where the blue would be going. So let's start. I'm going to show you once how to make an arm with the black and the blue, and once how to make it using the orange. So jump ahead if you just want the orange. We're going to start with two blacks, wrap them twice, pull them onto two blacks, and pull it onto two more sets of double black. Switch to blue, do two sets of double blue. So we're putting it onto two bands each time. Place them on the end, slide it over. Now before we put this next one on, we're going to take two more blues, put them at the top of the hook, and slide these first ones through. Put the other end back. Take your two blue, slide them through those first two on the end of your hook, and pull it onto double blue bands, everything that's on your hook now. For the basic uniform, you're going to do this a second time. If you're going to have a flaming arm, we're going to do something very similar, but we're going to use orange for the base of the glove. And I'll make two of these with you. You'll have time to pause and finish your black if you're doing that separately. Take two, wrap them twice. Pull it onto three sets of double orange. And now we're going to switch to blue. We're going to do two sets of blue. When we put our second one on, we aren't going to replace the end yet. We're just going to leave it like so. We're going to take two bands and slide them under the two that are still on the hook. This can be a little bit awkward. You can do this on the loom, and I show how to do this in my previous Fantastic Four video as well. If you're doing it on the hook, we're going to pinch this tight, put this on the end, slide it over. Other end on, and we're getting another two blue and sliding it on through the close two. Put it back, grab two more blues, and bring it all on top. Looks like he has little carrot arms, but I think he's going to be cute. So here was our blue and black, here is our orange. I'm going to make a second orange with you. Go a little faster this time. Two wrapped twice, pulled onto three sets of double orange. And three. Two sets of double blue. This is just like our last one. And before we replace it, we're going to slide two bands under these two, and then two bands under those. And get the other end. Two bands under this side of it. And this is all for our muscle here. And then we're going to put this up to two more, and we will go to the loom in 1 second. Now both variations are going to start in the same way here. We have two pink bands or sorry, skin tone. Mine just looked pink. We're going to bring them from the top center to the second in the center, coming down. Grab 2 blue, come from the second center to the second right. 2 from the second center to the second left. And let's come down once with blue on each of our rows down. These are double blue still. You can pop your arms onto the sides. The second peg's down. Just transfer the bands that are on your hook and make sure you get them all. We're going to do a second set of blue on each of our rows. Now we're at the 4th peg down on each of our rows. And from here, if you are using blue, you're going to put in 4 more sets of double blue. I'm choosing to switch to orange here, again, so it looks like he's on fire, so I'm going to use 4 sets of double orange instead. Now on the sides, if you're sticking with his costume here, his regular uniform outfit, you're going to follow either side down the loom using double blues, and you're going to stop when you get to the second peg from the bottom. That's for both sides. If we've got the orange here, for the orange, we're doing the same thing but with oranges. So you can watch and just translate the color there. Really the pattern is pretty close, like either which way. The only other real difference here is going to be the boots. And I'll show you how to do it both ways again. Stop one before the end and come down on the other side. Let's take 2 bands and come from the last center peg you used, it's the 8th peg down. We're going to come up diagonally to the side, push it down, do the same coming up to the other side, and we're going to take a single and cap that middle one at the base, and we're going to go about 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We will put our holding bands on and then we'll go and do our boots. So we're using single, not twisted bands. We aren't doubling them over. And we're going to use blue for the top one. So coming from your 3rd to your 3rd, raise it up over the 3rd. If you've used navy for all of this and haven't had orange, you're doing the standard uniform, you're going to use blue, single blues throughout. If you're using orange, we're going to switch to orange at this point. And our 4th triangle, like our triangle on the 4th, will be orange. Triangles across the 5th will be orange, and the next 2 will be orange as well. I think we're going to cinch in that bottom one though, just so it's a little bit tighter here. So I've doubled over this last triangle, but that is completely optional. For the boots, I'll show you how to do it once for the black boot, and then I'll show you the orange. It's almost the same thing. This is our standard boot design borrowed from Isolicious Designs. We take 2 bands of your boot color, wrap them twice on your hook, pull it onto 2. There are a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to show you this method right now. We're going to take, you can see I haven't replaced the end. We're going to take 2 bands, wrap them 2 times, put the other end back, and slide this all onto 2 more bands. And this goes on to 3 sets of double black. 1, oops, it's slipping. 2, and 3, and this would go onto the blue that is sitting on that second peg from the bottom. Just transfer it. For the orange, we're doing the same thing but in a different color, so let me make those with you really quickly. Take 2, wrap them twice, pull it onto 2. I'm sorry I've got you seeing all these steps 3 times, but this way hopefully it will all be clear. Take another 2, wrap them over twice. These are some of the shorter parts as well. Pull it onto 2, put it onto 3 sets of orange. 1, 2, and 3. Place it on the second peg from the bottom. And the last bead I'll make with you, this is our second orange one. Of course, if you're doing the blue-black combination, then you're going to be making 2 of those. And I forgot to leave this one off here, as we have to wrap those other bands. And 3 sets, just doubles. We're almost ready to loop the body, and the head is a piece of cake after this. One more set. Throw it on the loom. Try and point your feet in the direction you like, but you can stretch it out after as well. Let's come under this peg in the center where we have that cap. We're going to go underneath, find the top 2 bands, bring them up and over to the left. So I've lifted them up, I put them on the side peg. Go back in, find the next 2. I think we're going to have to give this a little stretch to see it better. Bring them up and to the right. These are sliding right under that cap band. Go back in, get the bottom 2, and we can loop straight up until we reach the second peg from the top, which is where our skin tone begins. So we've just looped the center. Now we're going to go to the bottom under the boots and loop up the sides. Slip under your boot, get the bottom 2, pull them up and over, and I think I have an extra one here. Thanks. And go under again, get your next bottom 2, loop them up and over, and keep going up. We're going straight to the top where the bands end. On this peg here you have a lot. You're only going for these bottom 2. You can hold them out to the side with your fingers if it helps you, or take them through one at a time. And sometimes even just turning your loom sideways helps. The next one, we've got our triangle bands. You're going to push that back and down. Make sure you don't grab it. We're looping straight up. This is all the same regardless of the color scheme that you've used. Find the 2 diagonal bands and bring them up from under the arm. Slide those back onto that second center peg. Back to the bottom, go under your other leg, and we're looping straight up again. This is exactly what we just did on the left side. Bottom 2 only wherever you go. And the last 2 diagonal, bring them in from the side. We need to find our 2 skin tone and bring them up through these blue bands. Whew, okay, that part is done. We can carefully remove this from the loom now. Be extra careful with the sections, the pegs which are holding the multiple bands there. Some of them are going to be a little bit tight. Okay, give them a stretch. So this is the flame version so far. This is what you'll have for the body. We'll add our little 4 in or our silver in after. We're coming to the loom now to do the head. Take your hair colored bands and we're coming down with double bands, top center to the top right, top center to the top left. Come down once on either side with double brown bands. Grab your skin tone and we're going to come down twice on either side from the second to the third pegs and from the third to the fourth pegs, so that we have a total of 3 sets on either side now. We're going to come to the middle, put in 1, 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets of skin tone. And take double bands to come from the 4th sides to the 5th center. We need some doubled over holding bands, so take your band, stretch it out, twist it around, and bring it across from the 4th to the 4th and up over the center 4th. Again for the pegs above. And one more time for the pegs above those. If you're using bands for your eyes or beads with a large hole, you can just throw them onto your hook and slide them onto a single skin tone. For beads with a smaller hole, what we do is we take our dental floss or a thin wire, slide it through both beads, because they're both going to go on the same piece here. I think I need a new piece of dental floss. This one's getting twisty. Slide it through your skin tone band. Bring the floss or the wire over and bring it back through. I'm trying to get you a good view here. Bring it back through the eyes. Slide, pull, and place your band on the second pegs, one side on either. Get your eyes apart, and we're going to put one of these sections of the band over the peg just below. Now we take our body piece and we take the neck pieces, the skin tone on the hook. We're going to place this onto the 5th peg down in the center. So it is sitting on this peg here. We reach underneath and we grab our top 2 and pull them to the right. Find your next 2 and pull them to the left. Loop straight up the center, starting with those final 2 bands under the neck piece. Make sure you don't loop up the band that's holding the eyes there. Go back in. We're going for the side piece, the bottom 2. Reaching under, pulling it over. Push back your triangle bands, get your bottom 2. Get your bottom 2 hair color. And finally we take our last 2 diagonal pieces, bring them to the center. Go in the other way, and we're going to loop up to the top once more. Take a single hair colored band. We're going to put our hook through with the open part facing away. This goes through all the bands on your top peg. We keep a little tension on this hair colored band and we grab it and pull it up, turn it around, and normally I would take this further band and bring it over, but because we have our skin tone here, it's going to look a little bit nicer if we bring this close one over the far one and pull that through. You can ease this off of your loom. Now I left my other hook over there. Let me just grab another one here. Okay, ease it off, and we'll do a couple of finishing touches. need to press your eyes through into place. Hide your securing band in the back. And for this, I'm just going to use a C-clip and slide it under. Pop it under a second band. You know, I like to keep it a little secure there. Oops. Can give everything an adjustment. Loosen the tight bands, tighten the loose bands, give them a tug. And the last thing that we've got to do, and this is optional, is to put a little silver piece on for the symbol. And for that, I'm going to come through from the back towards the side. I'm going to grab the silver or the gray, pull it to the back. This is the back side you're looking at. I'll move my hook over and come through the front a little to the side. Put the gray on again and pull it to the back. Bring one over the other and put it on a C-clip. We are pretty well done. Let me just show you what these look like now. So here is the Human Torch in flame form and in his standard Fantastic uniform. Thank you for watching. Check out Mr. Fantastic and be sure to keep an eye out. I'll be getting the Invisible Woman and the thing up as soon as I can. Thanks.